Hey, what's up? It's your old pal, Mr. Cook, and we're working on the Unit 6 test review. This is the stuff on logs and exponents. All right, so there's a couple properties and rules that we need to know. Probably the most important one that we're going to use throughout this page. One of them is going to be that you can turn a log into an exponent and vice versa. You just need to use this property here. And that's going to help us to solve, looks like the first 10 problems. So we're just going to use this and our calculators to solve each and every one of them. So the first two problems, you set each of them equal to x, and then you turn it from a log into an exponent. So you practiced that a ton by now. If not, take a look at the other quiz reviews. We go over it a handful of times in different examples. Anyways, so to turn this into an exponent, the a value is 2, so 2 to the power of x is equal to 64. And then you just got to figure out, how many times 2 multiplies times itself to get to 64. So it's like 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32, and then times 2 is 64. So 2 to the 6th power equals 64, and therefore, since the 2's are the same, then that means that x is equal to 6. So that's real easy to do. I know it says no calculators, but you are allowed to use calculators on your tests. You just need to show work like this, to get there. Some of them are a little bit more challenging, like these fractions, but there's a way to do them on your calculator and still show work. First off, convert this into an exponent. So it's going to look like this. 7 to the power of x is equal to 1 over 343. Then another thing you can do to show work is to show that when you have 1 over a number, it's the same as saying the number in the denominator to the power of -1. That's enough for me, if I were in my class, that'd be enough to show work. But then the rest of it, you can just, type in your calculator to get to the answer. So, log base, let's see, how do we get log base again? It's math, and then log base. Log base 7 of the fraction, 1 over 343. And you get the number, which is -3. What that's basically saying is that you have to take 7 and raise it to the power of -3 to get to 1 over 343. So your answer is x is equal to -3. Okay, so those are those two answers. Now, the next one is you should be able to do very easily on your calculator. Log of 56, you just hit the log button down here, so log, and then 56. And it says to round each of them to the thousandths place. So the thousandth place is going to be to 3 decimal places, okay? So we're going to round each one of them to 3 decimal places. Log 56 is 1 point, and then go to 3 decimal places, 7, 4, 8. There's your answer. These ones should be super easy for you. Just type them in, and you're good to go. ln of 4. So ln is the one that's right next to the log, so you just hit that, ln, and then 4, and then enter. And you get your next number, 1.386. That goes to 3 decimal places. So this is the answer for this one. The next one, we have to do log base 5 of 35. So if you have one of these fancy graphing calculators, you can just hit the math button, press up a couple of times to get the log base, and then type it in as it is, 5 and then a 35. If you don't have one of these fancy graphing calculators, that's okay. You can still type it in really easily. Let me get my little scientific calculator. I'm going to get the exact same answer. So I do this this way, okay? So it's log, you just hit the log button. So log, where is it right there? Log of the big number, 35, divided by log of the small number, which is 5. You type that in and see, you get the exact same decimal answer. So that's an alternative way to do it. I'm going to be using log base on this calculator, but reference back to that part of it, if you need to know how to type it into one of these little scientific calculators. Now for the last one, log base 7 of 4.2. So we have log, oops, I did the wrong one, math, and then log base, and then 7, and then 4.2, and you get your answers. So once again, I'll show you how to type it in if you don't have that little function on your calculator. It's log of the big number, 4.2, divided by log of the small number, which is 7, the base. So you still get the same exact number. So you can type it in either way. It'll get you the right answer. Just make sure that you know how to use your calculator for these ones. These are easy points. Make sure you know. Rewrite each equation in exponential form. These are also super easy problems. Number 7, 8, 9, and 10. All you're doing is using this. You're just converting from a log to an exponent or from an exponent into a log. So let's convert to exponential form. So we have a log. We just need to convert it to an exponent. So the base on the log is a, so 19 to the power comes from what it's equal to, which is 2. And that's equal to the number that's over here. So that's equal to 361. You're just using that property. And then once you rewrite it, you're done. So just rewriting it. And then this one is going to be 19 to the power of negative 2 is equal to 1 over 361. That's all you got to do, and it's done. Now let's convert from an exponent into a log. So I'm just doing the doing the opposite of it. So starting here, and then converting it into this log thing right here. So I'm just using the same letters and their positioning and rewriting it as a log. So here we go, ready? So the base is 6. So that becomes the base on your log. So log with a base of 6. And then of the number that it's equal to, so in this case it's equal to 216, so that goes in the parentheses now. And that's equal to the power. See, the power is what the whole thing is equal to, so that's equal to 3. And we are all done rewriting it as from an exponent into a log. Doing the same thing over here, we have a log with a base of 64 of the number 1/8, and that's equal to the power, which is negative 1/2. So this is rewriting it as a log. Okay, so that's just using this one little property, and we've done the first 10 problems. I think that's a good place to stop for this video, and we'll move on to condensing and expanding. So for those ones, we're going to use a different set of properties. Okay, that's it for this one. On to the next video.